Hello, my name is Chioma Odiakosa. I am the president of Maxwell and Bessie doing business at Star Beer USA. We import beer from Africa. We have Star Beer in a lot of states. So please stop by and find out if your store is carrying Star Beer. If not, demand that they carry Star Beer. You're watching NoireTV. It's been amazing.
Hello, I'm Chioma Odiakosa with NoireTV, and today we have a special guest, Chioma Odiakosa, who is the CEO of Star Beer USA, and she's here today to tell us more of her story, how she brought Star Beer to the United States, the different struggles she's encountered along the way, to being now in stores all across the United States, including Walmart and some of your favorite grocery stores. So we'll go ahead and kick it off. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So we're just going to dive right into your story.
Okay.
And as I learned about what you've been through, the question that I kept having in my mind is, what made you want to go on this endeavor? You grew up in Nigeria. You know, I'm sure you were enjoying yourself that time things were organized. What made you want to take this leap of faith and come to the U.S. and start this?
So I came here in 1988. I went to law school in Nigeria. Mm-hmm. I was at ABU Law School, Lagos. And then I served at Shehu Shagari's son's chamber. Mm-hmm. And then I got married and came to America. Mm-hmm. So I came here in 1988. And I took the bar exam in California. If you know anything about California bar exam, it's really tough.
Oh, wow.
I didn't pass it, so I decided, well, you know, I never failed anything in my life, and that was a shock to my system. Yeah. So I decided to become a paralegal trial specialist. So I started working at Kirkland & Ellis, the big firms, Gibson, Dunn & Crutcher, Aiken-Gum, King & Spalding.
So are you saying at this time you wanted to just take some time and maybe come back and take the bar exam?
Yes, okay. And I had kids at that point. Okay, I had two boys, and I said, okay, let's just do this and see. But as time progressed, I didn't see the need to take the bar exam again.
Okay.
Because coming from Nigeria, you don't get to, even if you pass the bar exam, you don't get to work for places like Kirkland & Ellis or Gibson, Dunn & Crutcher, because it was the top 10 law firm.
Yeah.
So that would mean me going back to, one or two people law firm, as opposed to working on the best cases in the world and having to go to trial with the best attorneys in the world. So I continued on that path until 2016. I went to Nigeria. My grandmother had died and she was 93.
Wow.
And you know how that is. Yeah. So we were going to have expecting over 2,000 people for her burial.
Wow.
And, and we're in the village getting ready, and my cousin gave me a bottle of Star Beer. And at that point in time, I hadn't had it in such a long time because, I was living in California, and you see it here and there, but I became a snooty Californian wine drinking, Chardonnay drinking, And then at that point in time, it was like something in me happened, like, this is truly amazing. And I remember growing up that, Star was the only beer my dad drank. If you came to a house, it was Star, or it was the only thing, any party, it was that. So I came back 2016, back to United States in California, and I decided, I talked to my sister and I said, I think we should, there might be something here. And she said, do people bring it? I said, I've seen it here and there, but...
So it really impacted you.
It did,
wow.
It did. It was so, because I had name it, Spanish beer, Japanese beer, but that was so, it reminded me of how amazing it was. And I thought, okay, this taste should not just be Africans drinking this amazing beer. So we talked about it, and I'm like, okay, I came back to California and I started looking around. I went to all the chain stores, literally. You don't see any beer from Africa. You saw beer from...
So at that point, are you looking to just consume, or you now have the idea that you want to bring this beer to the U.S.?
Yes.
So you're looking to see if it's here?
I was looking to see if it's here. You go to some African restaurant, you saw it. But my idea was, this beer was so good. It belonged on the shelf. should stand shoulder to shoulder with the best of the world,
Yeah.
right? So I focused on grocery stores, American restaurant, and I looked and I didn't see, not just didn't see Star Beer, but I didn't see any beer from Africa. At that point in time, wheels were turning around in my head and said, why shouldn't there be a beer from Africa? Is it because they don't care about this continent, or because they don't think we have amazing product? I didn't think the lift was so heavy, but I was just like, they should have our beer somewhere. So that started the journey.
And that was 2016.
2016.
That is amazing. Okay. So you have this idea, you come and you don't see Star Beer, you don't see any of our beers. What is your next step at that point?
So I started doing my due diligence and, having a legal background, doing research and what would it take. And the licensing was such a long process. And the whole time I was encouraged and discouraged at the same time. I said, what if I get the license in here to bring it here? Would the brewery allow me to do that? But I did also started bringing staff from Nigeria, giving to co-workers, my neighbors, and not any
This
Africa.
is before you got the license?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Because I wanted to see the reaction.
Yeah.
And the reaction was going to tell me whether this is worthy
Wow.
or this is worth it. I know what my reaction is, but then, I could be biased, right? So I gave it to friends and families, and everyone loved it.
Wow.
I said, okay, we're on the right track now. And started the licensing process. That took quite a while. It took almost 3.5 years.
Now, at that time, were they anywhere outside of Nigeria?
Yes, it was on the East Coast. Someone was already bringing it in East Coast. And but I thought to bring it here would be either get it in the shelves of America or not get it in at all. So the licensing process took a long time. And then in the process, I started approaching the brewery in Nigeria to say, I want to bring the beer here. But it was such a long process and difficult process. I'm like, my life is really good. I shouldn't really, just focus on what I'm doing. But each time my sister wouldn't let me drop it. She said, oh, auntie, we're onto something great. We can do this. We can do this. And she was telling me, we could, when Star Beer is all over the place, we could start micro financing for women who left their husbands and all that. So she encouraged me to go on.
Wonderful.
Yes.
So during that time period, roughly how long do you think it took you to get the license, and what were your chief obstacles, challenges during that time?
Well, before you get the license, you got to have a warehouse that you're paying for.
Okay.
There's nothing in it.
Yeah.
Because you have to tell them where you're going to go.
Okay.
And also doing the research as to who would be interested in carrying this beer. You have a history. You have, Star Beer is so amazing because it's got international awards and it had sponsorship with Manchester United and all that. Okay. So that was interest from people I think that could carry it. Yeah. And then trying to convince the brewery that I was worthy. Yeah. And my sister, they would not respond to me. Wow. But my sister found someone that knew someone, and finally I went down 2017 to meet them for the first time. Yes. Wow.
Is your sister part of the organization now?
My sister,
she should be.
She passed away.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah. Wow. But her impact is amazing.
The reason why I'm doing this, it's because of her. I wouldn't have had the courage to do. She saw something that I saw, but I thought, it was going to be difficult, but I didn't know how difficult it was going to be. Yeah. So, but she believed in me and believed in my ability. Don't ask me, how sisters are. Yeah. And she kept pushing. But unfortunately, she was diagnosed with cervical cancer.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. And she ended up dying in my house, in my arm.
Oh my God.
2019. Wow. Even when she was dying, she was like, how, auntie, have you called the brewery? Have you signed the agreement? Wow. So she went with me for the first time 2017 to do a presentation. Wow. And she stayed up night, working with me. And 2018, she was there as well.
Yeah.
So when she came here 2018 for my son's wedding, and she got sick, so sick. But even though she was so sick, she was still saying, have you signed the agreement with the brewery? What's the marketing plan? When are we getting the first container? Because she believed in it. So when she died, it was a question of, now what?
Wow. And it seems that motivation from her was infectious, because I know you reference your son a lot. Mm-hmm. So he's also part of the business.
Yes,
How does he help, and how does he fit in?
So my oldest son, I have two sons. Jordan. Okay. And Jonathan works with Snapchat. Jordan is the older one.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. So you have your social media down.
No, well. You have to meet Jonathan. So Jordan was very close to my sister Ngozi. And they both had the idea, I don't really like parties.
Okay.
I don't really like being in front.
Okay.
I'd rather sweep the floor, vacuum, cook, and serve than, that look at me and that's a thing.
Yeah.
If there's a party in Jerusalem, Ngo is ready to go.
Oh, wow.
And she said, you do the behind the scene and Jordan and I will be the front.
Okay.
And so Jordan and her had all the plans and when she died, it was like our heart we're just all in a state of denial to begin with. She was only 43 years old.
Wow.
And so Jordan now became Ngo. My sister's name is Ngozi Okaka, the one that died. So Jordan decided, okay, I'm going to go in this with you, Mom. Wow. I would help you. And it's been interesting working with him. I'm so grateful to have him because there are times I want to run away.
Wow.
And he reminds me why I can't run away.
Oh, you can't, yeah.
And there are times that it's so difficult.
Yeah.
Having someone who knows the journey, who knows what you've been through, and who is rooting for you, it's everything.
Yeah.
And there are times I want to kill him as well.
Yeah.
So
I can relate.
But he is that voice that says, Mom, keep going. We can do it.
You got through licensing, and then what were the next major hurdles you had to overcome?
So we ordered 6 containers from Nigeria.
Okay.
I went to Nigeria February 2020.
Yes.
By the time it got here, July, there was COVID.
Oh, wow. Wow. Wow.
Now what?
Wow.
All the plans
so they were delayed at the, what was it, I think they couldn't even get things in.
The supply chain was a mess. And finally arrived, but alcohol sale was going high, but no one was bringing new product. No one was working, no stores were, no distributors. It was just a nightmare.
Wow.
And we went through this, should we just cut our losses now and run? Or should we continue? But every time I had to make that decision, I thought about my sister Ngozi. And I thought she didn't have the opportunity she didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
I have a choice.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to take the easy way out. She didn't have that choice. And I keep hearing her voice. What would she say? She would be so disappointed that I gave up.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, we already lost. But we kept, giving the beer away, or, not giving it away, but, events and stuff like that. It was really difficult.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic ended. We started trying to get into distributors and stores.
Wow. Your story is amazing. I'm truly enjoying learning about the process, because you think, you can just, but so many challenges, and it takes a long time. Tell me about the successes you've had. Where can we find the beer? How did you get there?
So, the alcohol space, it's a 3-tier space.
Okay.
The supplier, which is what we are, then the distributor, and then the retailers.
Okay.
You can't really sell directly to the retailers, right? So you have to go through, get a distributor. And that was a beast in his own. First of all, you're trying to bring a product from a continent that they've never had it in the store or they don't know anything about. And it was very difficult getting a call back. And it's really all about who you know.
Okay.
So we had opportunities. We work with a consultant who helped us.
Okay.
But the problem is, I'm trying to do something that has not been done.
Yes.
Which is get this beer, not in mom and pop or small,
Yes.
but in the grocery stores,
Yes.
in places. But I've had grace along the way, and I think it's my sister's grace. We were able to get into Walmart in Georgia, Walmart in Florida, Disney World in Florida, and we got into a few states. Right now we're in Georgia, we're in Florida, we're in Texas. We're in, I'm drawing blank, we're in Maryland, 17 counties in Maryland.
Wow.
We're going into Philadelphia. We just got signed with regular brothers, distributors. We're in Seattle. We are going into 85 HEB stores in Texas, starting October 1st. So there's been a lot of encouragement to say, keep going. Last year was very difficult. Then I'm working full time on this. So there is no other option. This is the hill I'm going to die on.
Amazing. This is amazing. Congratulations, because that is major.
Thank you.
You can see where they always say, what do they say? Seeing yourself or just seeing your culture. That's just, that does a lot for someone's self-esteem and understanding of what they can be. So let me ask you, how do you go about the process of honoring the Nigerian culture behind the beer, but still making bridges out to other communities so that they can understand what Star Beer is about, and become
one
consumers?
of the things that we thought about doing when we were in the beginning, I'm so proud to be a Nigerian. I'm so proud to be an Igbo woman. I'm so proud to be an African. Because my intention is have Americans taste this amazing product. Well, not just this product, but also other product from Africa. If I open the door to having Star Beer be a success, when I open the door, all the doors that I think I'm capable of opening, it becomes easier that the next person coming behind me says they have a product from Africa. They're not going to look at them the same way. They're not going to have the same struggles that we do. They'll be like, oh, okay, we already have, Star or Tosca or Nigerian Guinness on the shelf, so come on down. That's the goal, to not be just one-off. I want to pave the way to not just, if you go anywhere you don't see, why? You see spices, Moroccan spices, Nigerian spices, you don't see it on the shelves of America. Why? See spices from Spain, from all over the world, Mexico, but you don't see it. So my goal is to open the doors so that it's not just beer. We've got amazing soft drinks, we've got amazing other things. But, it's having that goal and being ready to accept no for now and not no forever. And along the way, I've come across really amazing people. I'll give an example. Erin, she's going to kill me. Her last name is spelled Mucia. She works for Buck Distributing.
Okay.
She used to live in South Africa, so she drank Star Beer.
Okay.
She is somebody that champions me. She got us from one county in Maryland to 17.
And is this someone you just happen to know? Or?
I don't know her. We sent her.
She just found out about it?
No, we sent her Star Beer.
Okay.
But since then, in fact, she texted me on the way here. We're going into Pennsylvania because of her and the regular distributors. She believes in me. I'm 62 years old and I'm starting all over, right?
We couldn't tell.
And she absolutely wants me to succeed. So along the road, I've found people who extend grace and say, yeah, you don't have all the marketing dollars, but hey, come on in.
Yeah.
And also watching Americans try the beer for the first time.
Yeah, tell us about that. Are they literally going into these stores and trying it? They're coming to events?
We go to beer festivals.
Okay.
And you know, sometimes...
I know there's a lot of interest when they understand that
first of all, there's one black person or two black people.
Okay.
So right off the bat, you're attracting attention.
Yeah.
And then we have the number one African selling beer. They're like,
wow, yeah.
So they walk up, some people are curious, right?
Yeah.
And they try the beer. They're like, where's this from? And I said, it's from Africa. I don't say it's Nigeria.
Yeah, okay.
Because I want to see what they know about the continent.
Yeah,
they go, no, it can't be from Africa. I said, no, it's actually from Nigeria. What? They have beer? It's like when Tiffany Haddish was in Zimbabwe.
Oh yeah, with the grocery stores.
In the grocery store, and people were dumb. I said, this is why I am doing this. Because when people try it, it opens the door for conversation.
Yes.
What do you know about Africa? What do you know about Nigeria? Do you know this beer is over 70 years old? No. And it's like, and it's gluten-free. No. This can be, they look at the can, it's so amazing. I said, I know. It's like, there is an aftertaste. I said, I know. And it just puts me in this amazing space that even if I'm having a bad day, just having that conversation and hearing them, and including Black Americans, including Hispanic, everyone, like, this can be from Africa, not even from Nigeria.
Yeah.
And then sometimes we go to beer festival, you meet Europeans, and they see that green, white, green on the package, and like, oh, that's from Nigeria. Oh wow,
okay.
But it's been interesting and wonderful to see the reaction. And it's like, I want to go to Nigeria. I'm like, you should.
Yeah.
Here's my number. If you need to go, call me. And I've gotten people who are very interested in what else comes from Africa. And that's exciting. Why we're doing this.
Wow. That is, I can imagine being there and seeing that reception. Has that led to unusual opportunities for you, or is that maybe one of the drivers getting you in some of the lesser known markets where they're less, not as...
And I've met people at this, beer festival, and they're like, oh, who's your distributor and so and so?
Wow.
Oh, I would like to have this beer. I remember one incident was the buyer for Whole Foods.
Okay, yeah.
And at that point in time, we didn't have a distributor. It's like, this is my card. Because it's easier for them to deal with distributors than individuals. And it's like, when you get a distributor, call me. I think your beer would do well in Whole Foods. And it's like, oh, I know so-and-so restaurant. I know so-and-so in so-and-so state. And I remember meeting this couple they're from Pennsylvania. And they drank the beer. It's a white couple. And she actually said to me, your son, I don't tell them that I'm associated with it, I'm just cleaning, doing whatever, but she spoke to my son, and my son said, oh, my mom is trying to do this and trying to get it all over the place. And she actually prayed with me. She said, I come to beer festivals and I don't see any black faces, the white woman. She said, I hope I see you next year. She actually prayed with me, and I was like, oh, geez.
She really enjoyed that beer. Well, tell me about the role that Afro beats and music and that whole renaissance, because I sort of think of sort of the first major success in this country, the U.S., being the transition of Afro beats and how that's impacting everything. You see artists promoting things like Doritos, different beverages. Is that a direction that you plan to go in with Star Beer, since that is so popular right now?
Well, naturally, that would be the direction we wanted to go. I'll give an example. Red Stripe started when reggae was so popular.
Okay, yeah.
Who's listening to reggae? Only old school like us. Still play my Bob Marley. Saturday morning or Sunday morning. But anywhere you go in this country, you see Red Stripe. we've not been able to make that breakthrough with the Afrobeat. I think it's that thinking, give me what you have now. We don't have the 250,000 to give them.
Right.
We don't have the 500,000 to give them, but other people do. As opposed to seeing it that this is ours, and we might be little now, but we're not going to be.
Right.
But we also found grace in. We just signed Venom Maxwell, ex-NBA player.
Oh wow!
He absolutely loved the beer.
So how did that come about?
Oh, so again, grace, right? Again, grace.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know anyone in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
So I got a call from a guy I knew and said, "Oh, by the way, I want to introduce you to Keith Davis. He has a vodka and he wants to go into Africa." I'm like, "Yeah, okay."
Wow, yeah.
So we had a call and it went very well. I introduced him to people I know and encouraged him. We ended up becoming family friends. And he would tell me, "Oh, he's did that." And I said, and he said one day, "May, what do you really need?" I said, "Well, I need the right investors, not the wrong ones.
Yeah.
I need somebody to be the face of this beer, someone that's known here."
Yeah.
And he talked about Afrobeat. I said, "I don't think I have what they need, what they want now. What they want now is, pot full of money, and I don't have that. And they're not seeing that what this is going to be."
Yeah.
I said, "I need someone who's going to meet me where I am." And he said, "Hold on." He said, "Hold on." I was holding, and he added someone. He goes, "Hey, Maxwell, this is May. She's my sister. And I know you like beer. I wanted to introduce you to her." We had half an hour call.
Wow.
You know that saying, whatever is for you would never pass you by?
Yeah.
This half an hour call was incredible. So we sent him the beer. My son, Jordan, was in Texas, sent him the beer. He absolutely loved it. And I'm honest with anyone I deal with. This is where I am. This is what I have. Meet me where I am. And I understand if you can't meet me.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I am going to meet you where you are."
Oh, wow.
He just signed an agreement with us.
Wow.
He played for 3 NBA teams in Texas.
Wow.
I cannot begin to tell you. I think if I tell you what this is, how much grace this guy, he has no business wanting to partner with me. But he said, "I believe in you. I believe in your vision. I believe in your product. And I'm going to go with you until the wheels fall out." I was an emotional mess.
You're going to make me emotional.
I was just emotional. I cried that I didn't think there were people like that.
Yeah.
But there are. I'm talking to you now.
Yeah.
I'm talking to Emeka. So I know that.
There
are people. You just have to believe that not everyone that wants $1 million from you would work out. At the same time, the best of the best, they meet you where you are. And we just signed with him, and it was so easy. Do you understand? He's a Black American. It was easiest thing I've done since starting this thing was getting him on board.
Wow.
So I'm going to be going to Texas October 1st. We're going to HEB stores. And he's like, "May, we're going to be in 425 HEB stores by the end of the year." I'm like, "Okay,
wow.
Maxwell, end of the year is that." But he is like, and he's like, I also live in North Carolina. I do have a distributor in North Carolina.
Wow.
I said, "Can you find one?" He goes, "Okay." So I've never met this guy.
Wow. This story is just
okay. So you get rejection, 10 rejections, and you keep going. The right person shows up.
Wow.
And shows up in ways that you would never imagine it. After he said yes, I'm like, "Okay, don't rejoice. Let him sign the contract." He signed the contract. We sent him. He didn't make one change.
Wow.
I just was like, "Okay, I see you, God." And I talked to my sister and I said, because it was difficult dealing with her debt, and it's like, whatever you feel, talk to him. I said, see, you believed more than I did. And look, this amazing soul just took nothing from us because he believes in our dream. A Black American.
Wow.
Former NBA player. I don't want to cry.
Okay, don't. Okay. Oh my goodness, that is just amazing. Well, tell us what okay, so he said 400 stores by December.
That's what he said. He said
that's what it's going to be.
I
400 stores by December.
I said, it may be December 2020, 25.
December 2024. We will even exceed that number.
It was so easy to talk to him.
Yeah.
And now it's like, doing our planning on, I mean, this guy could demand the world.
Yeah.
He's not, it's like, May, let's do this merch. Let's do it this way. Jordan is designing it. Yeah. I see you, May. I see you. And I said to him, what do you see in this 62-year-old woman that make you literally say you're going to work with us to get this all over the place? And he just laughed. He didn't say a word.
Whoa.
I'm so grateful for him and so many other people too that do, one thing I've learned is that you find grace in places that you're not looking.
Yeah.
And the people you think that would be jumping up and down to say, let's promote this is our own, because we don't buy this beer in Naira, we buy it in dollars.
Wow.
From Nigeria.
Yeah.
So you're not just helping promote product from your own country, and you go to see the Hispanic, their product, Asians, their product, white, their product, Black American. It's for us to begin to realize that, I don't mean to sound negative, but there's always a cycle with music. R&B, disco, rock and roll,
you're right,
rap, reggaeton. Yeah. But what are you using that power that you've been given for the time being? Yeah.
Well, outside of music, what about in the Nigerian communities? How has the reception been?
We have a van in Texas branded.
Okay.
This guy followed Karen, the woman that works for us, for 3 miles.
Because he saw the star beer.
Because he saw the star beer van.
Wow.
Followed her for 3 miles. She said she was like, why is this car behind me? I've been doing all this and this car is behind me. She stopped at a gas station and the guy stopped and said, tell me, what do you know about this beer?
Wow.
and Karen's like, oh, it's from Nigeria. And my boss is Nigerian. He goes, is this one brewed in America? She said, no, this came from Nigeria. He goes, where can I buy this car? What do you have in your van?
Wow.
Karen's like, oh my God, the guy was aggressive. Like, you need to open this van and I need to buy from you.
Wow.
And Karen was so excited. She's like, no, take the 6-pack. And he's like, no. and I get phone calls from my 800 number from Alaska, from Seattle, from saying, can you ship? And I said, we can't ship. Where can I buy it? Not in your state yet, but give us some time. So it's been wonderful.
That is amazing.
That's the same way I met Emeka, and Emeka is just like, oh, okay, you're trying to do something here. I will support you. Yeah. The same thing with Martin, the same thing with David, the same thing with Philip, the same thing with, Dr. Kingsley. Yeah. So I meet people who see what we're trying to do, Nigerians, and they're like, keep going. It's going to be difficult, but keep going. We're here for you.
That's amazing.
Yes.
So what are your plans moving forward? We know what you have to do by December 2025. What are your plans? Where do you want to see Star Beer?
So the plan is by 2026 for Star Beer to be in 50 states.
Wonderful.
But we're not stopping with just one product.
Okay.
We're talking to Nigerian Guinness.
Fantastic.
To bring the Nigerian version of the Guinness here.
Okay, because the one we have here is different.
It's different.
Okay.
The Nigerian formula is different.
Okay.
It's the only formula different.
Wow.
We're also talking to Tosca Beer. We just actually signed with them.
Wow.
to bring Tuscan
That's
beer.
an exclusive.
Yes, and
Fantastic.
we've done the the label and all that,
Wow.
and I might be going to Nairobi next month.
Wow.
But our goal is so that in 5 years, if you're in the middle of Alabama, you pull up, you go to that mom and pop shop, you would see a beer from Africa.
Oh, this is amazing.
That is the goal.
And you're going to get there.
Oh, we
quickly.
will. Oh, we will.
Yeah,
We will.
quickly. Oh,
we know they carry last.
No, exactly. Well, tell me, you've talked about some of the challenges and some of the successes. As a woman, do you think being in this industry, because it's not only that you have an African beer, it's not only that you're Black, you're a woman as well. And I know, but I want you to still answer the question. How has that put an extra challenge for you, and what have you had to do?
So when I started, I felt confident that I am able to survive corporate America, working high stake firms.
Yes.
So I thought there's nothing I really can overcome. I'm tough and all that, but I do know how difficult it is. First of all, the mindset is anything Africa cannot be good. Yeah. So if it's good, someone should have done it, right? And then you add the older woman aspect of it. I don't see a lot of people that look like me in the alcohol space. Yeah. Lately, our national sales director, Morris, he's a Black guy. And when I met him, I felt like, and you don't see people that look like you trying to do what you're trying to do. And then you're adding an African beer. Okay, well, they have their own preconceived notion of what Africa, just like, Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah.
And I wanted to reach out. I said, I know exactly what you're doing. Yeah. Stop dumping on her. Yeah. You've been told this is what you get from Africa. And I wanted to, my son is like, I said, DM her. My son is like, Mom, do you know how many people DM her?
I'm sure.
But I wanted to say to her, this is why we're doing this. Yeah. So it's been challenging on all levels. Yes. And then you add the fact that the beer shelf is limited. You add the fact that we don't have a superstar with their name attached to it. Then you add the fact that we don't have the millions of dollars to compete. Yeah. It's like before you even wake up, they decided you've lost. But for me, as an Igbo woman, the challenge does not stop us from trying. Right. So every time I get a no, I say they're not ready to say yes. Or they're saying, try again. And I've had that. I've had to go back and forth and eventually they say yes. Yeah. And it's difficult, but it's not impossible. No. I can sit here and tell you that people have an impression of what comes from Africa. Yeah. But I'm here also to dispel that notion. Yeah. And hopefully that people can see me and say, if she can do it, there is no reason why you young people can't do it. Yeah. That if I'm able to impact a little wisdom to someone, I want to be pushing the envelope, but I want the door to be left open so that if you want to get your product somewhere, call me, look me up. Yeah. I will be able to tell you where the dead bodies are buried. Okay. Yes, exactly.
So,
but it doesn't stop the fact that I'm Black from Africa with an accent. Yeah.
Well, I know we're running up on time, but I thought that maybe in conclusion, you can give some words of wisdom to someone who wants to go along this journey. Where was I? Sprouts, I think, and they had frozen jollof rice at Sprouts. We're there. We have so much to offer. What advice would you give to someone who wants to be the next you and bring some product, some aspect of Africa to a country where, they have these preconceived notions of us? And what advice would you give to someone?
The road is difficult, but you can get there. don't accept anyone's impression of how far you can go, including your own family members. I have family members that think I've lost my mind.
Still?
Yes.
Wow.
Because they don't see it. Look for those who see where you're going. Look me up. I would talk to you. You think about suya spice. It's a dry rub.
I have it.
Why isn't that in Target?
Yeah.
Why isn't that in Public?
Yeah.
Why isn't that in Kroger? I make suya with the suya spice.
Mm-hmm.
It's organic, first of all. All my friends, white, black, green, yellow, they love it.
Yeah.
Why can't we have that in all the stores?
Yeah.
So for me, it's saying this is the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life, but also this is the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my life. And you will meet those who think you're insane, but then you meet people like Maurice Shubumi, and you meet people like Keith, you meet people like Maxwell, Venom Maxwell, you meet people like Erin, you meet people like Christian Irregular. I'm going to see him tomorrow. You meet people like Randy from Walmart. You meet amazing people. Yeti is, she's worked with me for 4 years. Even when I want to give up, this woman would not let me give up. My son, Jordan, Karen, these are people who are wearing, I say I'm the lawyer, the nanny, the chef, the cook and everything. They wear multiple hats.
Yeah.
But they believe that we're going to get to the mountaintop.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter that we're going to drink just cereal for the next 2 weeks. They believe. So find those people and have them in your corner. Just don't expect, miracle overnight. It's going to take some time. But persistent showing up, doing the work every day, the no's begin to become yes. And the yes start coming. I remember talking to Maurice that said last year wanted to give up, and she said, May, you will thank me. Eventually we'll all come together. Your problem will be you're overwhelmed because this. And I could see it.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us today.
NoireTV, showing on Verizon Fios channel 269, Optimum channel 1100, and on Digicel. Or on our website www.noiretv.com, or download the app from the App Store or Play Store.